Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, my name is Theo, and welcome to a new Roller Coaster Tycoon video. If you watched my last video, which I will link down below, at the end of the video, I mentioned that I made a really big mistake when making this build. I will explain the reason for that in a minute. And as you can probably already tell, yes, everything is yellow. I do like yellow, so hopefully that isn't annoying to you. I did actually change everything to purple for Halloween after this, but I don't have any footage of that, I'm pretty sure. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm about to get started. The mistake I made was basically the way the game works. Every item in the game has a set range in which the item will work. Every building attraction has a different range depending on which building it is and how far upgraded it is. So, see those two attractions back there? They are not in range with any restaurants, the information center, the bathrooms, the maintenance center. So if a person goes in that haunted house, they will get sad because they can't find a restaurant, even though there's a restaurant at the other side of the park. Also, you see how they keep complaining that there's no Asian restaurants? Don't get stressed about that, because even if you buy 20 more Asian restaurants and put them all over the whole park, they're just gonna start complaining about Mexican restaurants. I actually eventually did that. I put like several more Asian restaurants, and as soon as I did that, they were like, there's no Mexican restaurants. So don't worry about that. They're just obnoxious. So I made a couple different sketches of what I'm gonna do, and basically what I decided was, in order to make this park the most efficient when it comes to the range of the maintenance buildings and stuff like that, they all need to be in the middle of a giant circle. So the maintenance buildings, the bathroom, the information center, all the stuff like that in the restaurants need to be in the middle, and then surrounding those are going to be the rides. So that way all the rides are in range with the buildings, I guess, if that makes sense. Hopefully, once every ride has access to all the restaurants and shops, I will make a lot more money, and the satisfaction of the attraction goers is gonna go way up, and they're gonna like this park way more than they did before, even though the layout wouldn't make as much logical, realistic sense as it did when I first renovated this in my first Roller Coaster Tycoon video. You see what I mean by a circle? I feel like this is the most efficient way to set it up when it comes to the limited range that everything has. I also really like things to be symmetrical. Alright, here I am placing some of the little food carts and stuff. If you want to try and mirror this and make this build yourself, please take a picture if you do and send it to me, because I'd like to see that. I'm trying to trim these clips down as much as possible so it doesn't get really boring. When I first put all the clips together before I shortened them and sped them up, I had 23 minutes of footage, which is really not that much, but it was taking up so much storage on my phone, and I had to delete a lot of things off my phone, which was kind of sad, but I gotta get this video out, otherwise I would just have to delete it, and I don't really want to do that, because in my last video I said I was gonna make this video, so I'm not just gonna, oh sorry, I didn't have enough storage, oops, I'm not gonna come out with that video anymore. But I deleted most of my apps. I used to play this game with my sister called Hotel Hideaway. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. It's pretty fun. It's one of those free games that you can collect clothes and like you spin a wheel and you go to these different rooms and you can like chat with people. I might download it again, but because I deleted it, I'm gonna have to start the game over, which I guess is not terrible, but you know. You probably already know this or have figured this out, but in case you didn't, when you place an item or an object that's not necessarily a ride, like a restaurant or a shop or something, it has this blue grid around it, and that's the range. So see how I just placed that tree and the ride is lighting up when I do that? That decorations, any decorations, so trees, trophies, when they're placed next to a ride and the ride lights up, they're in range with that ride and they give that ride a boost. It, I think, makes the people happier. It possibly gives you more money, and I like to put the most amount of decorations next to the rides that have the most satisfaction and get you the most amount of money. And the way that you can check that is there's sort of like a button. I'll see if I can find a clip of that. Okay, so I will go over this at the end of the video, but basically there's a way to check each ride's satisfaction and income. So I like to put my decorations next to the rides that will make you the most money. And I like to use all of my trophies. Make sure that you claim your trophies, get your trophies. I like to put those next to my roller coasters. I usually don't buy decorations. I have very few decorations. I should probably get more, but I just feel like it's a lot of times they're pretty expensive, and I find that it's easier to, instead of buying a bunch of new different ones, it's most efficient to keep the ones that you have and just keep upgrading them. And then buying the ones that you have upgraded. So those pinwheels and the donuts that I have that I'm placing, I have upgraded multiple times. So they're better than buying a new different decoration, in my opinion. Like if I were to buy like some kind of Christmas tree or something, it's not upgraded, so it wouldn't have as much range or do as much as a pinwheel. And these trophies, you win these, and they have a lot of satisfaction. Oh, and by the way, the whole decoration efficiency thing, that is just my opinion. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, let me know. I don't want to give out any false information, but in my opinion, that's just what I do. The trophies, I really like because they have a lot of bonus, and if you put the rides close to each other, you can use the bonus from the decorations on multiple different rides. Also, the trophies are free, of course, and you usually get some kind of prize for winning them, so always get your trophies. Okay, so if you're watching, I didn't buy anything new. This is all the stuff that I already had, and look how the satisfaction is just climbing just because I renovated and I, used an efficient system when it came to the range, and the satisfaction is just going up. All I did was renovate. Like I said, I didn't even buy anything new. Before I renovated, the satisfaction was at 68%. So my theory was correct. If you renovate in a way that's efficient for the game and for the range, you will get an increase in satisfaction points, which will give you an increase in money. This is how you open the menu that has the statistics of the satisfaction and the revenue. This is a really important tool that I like to use when deciding what rides I should give upgrades and also what rides I should buy more of. So if there is a ride that has a lot of satisfaction, I'm going to spend more money on buying that ride, well, multiples of that ride. as opposed to a different ride with a very low revenue and very low satisfaction. So here is my finished amusement park. It seems like the satisfaction has stopped increasing at 81%, so that means I had a 13% satisfaction increase, which is pretty good for just a renovation. Again, I did not buy anything new. All this was renovating my park for maximum efficiency. So here is my before, and this is after. So you can see everything's closer together, it's not as spread out, and this is really helpful when it comes to efficiency and the range of the buildings. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last Roller Coaster Tycoon video on this channel because I actually had to delete the app. I didn't have enough storage on my phone, and that was a problem because I film on my phone, so I made the difficult decision to just delete it. But it did free up a lot of storage, so no more Roller Coaster Tycoon videos for the time being. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.